How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have the Sons of James with us tonight, and they can say their names and what they do in the band.
I'm Chris. I play rhythm guitar.
I'm Steve. I play drums.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Sean. I play the lead guitar.
There we go. Well, we're only missing one more, I think, but I don't think he's gonna be making it on. Whoever's doing their singing, correct or no?
Yeah, Matt was actually, he has things that were pre-booked for this evening.
Gotcha.
The only time the majority of us could get together, because we live in different states.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's hard sometimes. He had pre-planned engagements that he had to make. So you got us for the night.
I'll take it. Listen, I don't need Matt. That's all I'm gonna say. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to Matt. I've had to throw him under the bus a little bit. But very stoked. Major shout outs to James. Always sending me some really cool bands to check out. So love that dude. He's awesome. But wanted to know, since he didn't really give me much backstory on you guys, I'd love to know how you guys started out. Give me the whole anthology story of the group. How did you guys form? Just give me the whole storyline. I love knowing about that stuff. I'm a huge nerd about it. So give me all the details.
Absolutely. Hey, this is going to be difficult, so we don't talk over each other because we're all not together. Sean, you want to take this one, or do you want me to take this one? How you want to do this?
I mean, either or. I think you should go for it, since it all started with you. Really, it kind of started with me and Steve. So let's go for it. And then I'll just kind of chime in, and then we'll just kind of go in a little history in order, I guess. That'd be cool.
Awesome. Okay. So me and Sean met back in high school, and
a long time ago. We're old. So let's preface that. I'm 37. I'm the youngest guy in the band, so we need to say no more.
I got you. Yeah.
We won't say who's the oldest.
But we met back in high school. I'm not sure. Sean's going to have more detail as to how we met, but we got together and started jamming together years upon years ago. And try not to make it too long. That relationship lasted a very, very, very long time, in and out of different bands, forming different bands. Different styles of music. We were doing pop punk, and then we would do punk, and then we would do hardcore, all sorts of different stuff we explored throughout the years. And then as we got older, you moved. Was it not that you moved?
No, you moved first.
Well,
somebody moved.
Somehow we put everything on just like a pause, and then me and our old singer Morgan were playing with our other buddy Kyle, and we played for about 6 years, doing small tours around Florida. We did an East Coast tour up through Georgia, South Carolina, Connecticut, New York, stuff like that. Had a blast. Sean actually played a couple of shows with us in some free time. He would come and rehearse, and he did a couple of shows with us here and there, and life just kind of happened.
Sure, I feel that.
we all have kids, or ended up having kids and families and that sort of thing. So after about 6 years, I think it was me, I moved to North Carolina.
I said that. Yeah. You moved first. Yeah.
I took off to North Carolina with my family. My grandparents weren't doing well at all, and they've passed now, but I came here to help them out. They've been asking me for a couple of years, and everything kind of went on hold. And while that was happening, our buddy Kyle died. He passed away. And when I went to the memorial, I met up with our old singer there, and we got to talking and reminiscing and that kind of thing. And I said, hey, I've got a bunch of songs written that I've been writing over the last couple of years. We should really get together and just go record an EP, record an album, do something in memory of Kyle. And instantaneously, it was like, I got to call Sean and see if Sean's up for it, see what Sean's doing. And so I called Sean, and he was in. Sean, take it from there.
Yeah. So Steve, I hadn't talked to Steve in probably about 6 years, I think, like solid 6 years. He moved to North Carolina, done his thing. I was doing my thing down here. Life happens, friendships come and go, unfortunately,
Sure.
And then one day I got a Facebook message from him. I don't even think we were friends on Facebook. I don't even think you had a Facebook. I don't even think you have a Facebook now, actually. I don't know. It's weird. But anyways, yeah, I got a Facebook message from him, and I remember exactly what it said. It said, "Are you up for a conversation, a musical conversation?" And I said, yeah, call me. And he called me, and he told me about Kyle, and that bummed me out. He told me about how he was talked to Morgan, and he was like, "I've got the songs written." And it gets a little interesting here because Steve is a drummer. Steve plays the drums and only the drums. Steve does not play any other instruments except for the drums. And Steve called me and said, "Hey, I've got about 10 or 15 songs written." I was like, "Well, how do you have songs written? You're a drummer. Like, what do you mean?" He goes, "No, I have full complete songs written, lyrics, everything, demos." And actually what he did was he had a full EP's worth of songs written that he wrote on GarageBand. Melodies, harmonies, lyrics, everything. And I said, okay. So he sent them to me. And then, I picked about 5 of them that we liked, that we kind of agreed on. And that became our first EP right there. We went to New York into the studio with Jesse Cannon. And we recorded our first EP. It was really cool. It was kind of our first, experience as like a real band as adults in like a real music studio. So that was really cool. But jumping back a little bit in time, like what makes it really interesting is because, again, I hadn't talked to Steve in so long, and he called me, and we picked right back up like where we left off like all these years ago. So like it's always kind of been more than like just a band to us. It's been like a friendship and a family.
Yeah.
And Kyle is kind of the whole reason that put this back in place. So like friends and family is really the whole reason that we exist in the first place. So that's really cool.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. It's I think it's often wild how music brings people together in that way. Because I read up a little bit on, I checked the like new noise like article you guys did, and I did read that, and I was like, that seems interesting. Like obviously, my condolences to your friend Kyle. I mean that's certainly not, I feel like, what most people would imagine how a group would start out. But I think you guys said it best, where it's like, your friends and family are important, and obviously you wanted to pay homage to your friend Kyle. So I feel like that's quite a sentiment to live off of, and now you've been doing it since, I believe it was like, from what I read, it was like 2017, 2018. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, we've been going at it a little, probably over 6 years. Our first EP is 5 years old this last September. So yeah, it's been about 6 years. And going back to when it started, we kind of didn't have any expectations for it. So it's really cool to be like here today and still doing it after 6 years. Our only expectation at the beginning was just to kind of record some music for ourselves and nobody else, and it was cool that we got to do that. We got to learn a lot about ourselves and really like writing music too. And we really learned that Steve's a pretty good songwriter, actually, like when it comes down to it. So that was cool. We did the whole thing with Jesse Cannon with our EP, and we released our EP. What year was that, Steve? September 18?
18. Yep.
Yeah, 2018. Yeah. And then from there, we went back with Jesse Cannon and we recorded a full length, Traverse. We put that out with our old singer Mo. We were still a 3-piece then. We put that out in the middle of COVID, unfortunately. We didn't have a lot of time to really do anything with that because the whole world was shut down.
Yeah.
But during the world being shut down, we kind of came to the fact that we were going to need another guitarist to be able to do this live. And Chris was the guy that I had met. I've known him for probably going on close to 15 years now, at least 10. Yeah, and it's funny story. It's kind of full circle because when Steve called me, he's like, "I don't even know if you're playing music anymore. I don't even know if you own a guitar, if you own an amp." And I didn't up until like a couple years before that. And I met Chris. He was my neighbor, and he was the one that kind of like got me back into music and playing guitar. So I was kind of jamming around with him, in my spare time, getting back into music. And then Steve called me, and we were doing the Sons of James for a couple years. And then when it came time to get another guitarist, I knew right away, like, Chris has got to be the guy. Like, so, and he actually, I was living in North Carolina at the time. Steve was living in North Carolina at the time, and Chris was down in Florida. And he flew up not not knowing Steve, not knowing Mo at the time. And
I met Morgan in the airport that day on the flying up there.
yeah. He met Morgan, our singer,
I knew
in
who
the
to look
airport.
for. He had long dreads down to his ass. So once I saw him, I was like, hey, you must be Morgan. We're flying together.
The craziest part about this, Chris flew up to North Carolina for a rehearsal. And when he walked in and played, he knew the songs better than we did.
Yeah, he really did.
It was incredible. It was like he had been there the entire time. It was one run through the set, and it was like, oh, he's fucking in.
He's in. Yeah.
I was actually, Sean was in my garage one of the days, and he was telling me, I just got this crazy text from my old friend Steve. He wants to play and do all these new songs and stuff. And I was like, all right. And I was sitting there playing my acoustic guitar at the same time. You know what I mean? So it just all comes full circle, for sure.
Yeah.
That was.
Go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it was super cool that New Noise like kind of put out that article and kind of focused on our history a little bit. And that kind of like, it was really cool to go back and read it because we were kind of all like, hey, maybe we really do have like something here that's unique and a little bit different. So it's really cool to kind of give a little backstory on that and kind of focus on like who we are, not just what we are.
Yeah, no, I think it was interesting for me since, like I said, I had no idea about your band prior to probably maybe about a week ago. And before I had you guys on just now, I went and checked out your Spotify and checked out, I would say, like 85% of your catalog now at this point. So like the songs I listened to were The Real Me, They All Told You, Boswell, and The Ride, which were kind of like the top, I guess, songs on Spotify right now. And I know Boswell is your newest song, and I was like, typically, like I'll fully admit I am not in, like I am in the punk space, but I probably don't know as much about punk as I do probably other genres of music. And so it was cool to kind of get a little bit more of a feel for you guys, because like I said, the stuff that was from like 2018, 2017, I was like, this sounds completely different than the stuff that you released more recently, like Boswell. And I was like, wow, what a changeover in sound and like kind of evolution. Cause I always love seeing like the beginning half of the band and obviously where they're at now. So do you find that you guys have changed your writing style or process now, given that, again, the group's been together for like 6-ish, 7-ish years? I feel like a lot of things change. I know I can speak for myself doing this for 8 years. So I know there's a lot of changeovers that I have. So do you guys feel like you guys have made a change like sonically or maybe not?
I think that it's 100% guaranteed, no doubt whatsoever. It's happened. A lot of it, when we went into the studio with Jesse Cannon back for that first EP, we talked a little bit about the songs. He kind of made some adjustments, what he thought. Jesse's the kind of guy who's like, hey, I can give you ideas. If you want them, take them. If you don't. That's on you.
Yeah.
It's your call. But we took some of the ideas. We didn't take some of them. Then we went back for Travers. But when I wrote Travers, I had some of those things that we had talked about the process of writing in mind. And I think Travers came out a lot more coherent than the first EP. Well, then when we were recording Travers, I got to spend a lot of time with Jesse. And he just went through a lot about songwriting with me. And so I think that has helped. When I'm writing songs, I'm actively thinking about a lot of things that we had talked about as far as melodies and as far as changes and things of that nature. And then also, we're in a different studio. The songs that The Ride, Relocation, and the newer stuff we're putting out, we're recording in a completely different studio with Ryan Bosch. And we're kind of going in there with a different perspective. He's got a different perspective on things. So I think a lot of that stuff is changed. Sean, Chris, anybody?
Yeah, I think it was you hit the nail on the head. And I think that's really cool. Like, because there's absolutely no doubt about it that we have definitely like our style has changed, and to us, like we've progressed. To me, that's kind of like my personal goal, like to be a better musician, to be a better songwriter, to do something not necessarily like better because it's not like a challenge to have like, oh, these songs have to be better, but I guess they do have to be better, because we learned a lot from Jesse, like Steve said about the songwriting process, and how to challenge yourself and really like have something that you're happy with in the end and really push yourself and
Sure.
not just kind of be
Yeah.
content with a song. Like if you feel like you can get some more out of it, to really push yourself with those melodies, and and for me personally, to write more leads. When we first started, I was kind of doing double duty. I was playing rhythm and I was playing lead, and I really wanted to. I've always been big on live and being able to do what you do on a record and playing it as close to live as possible.
Sure,
So
yeah.
it was kind of hard to be the only guitarist. So it wasn't very lead heavy in some of our earlier stuff. And now I try to make it a lot more lead heavy and focus on leads. And then the addition of Chris like totally switched up that dynamic too, because he plays rhythm guitar completely different than I do. So like he's very, very solid rhythm guitar player. So his rhythm adds a lot of more drive, I feel like, to some of our newer stuff too.
Yep.
So that's super cool.
Chris, you have any comments?
Yeah, I mean, the addition of Matt after Morgan had to unfortunately take a step back from the band for a little while, I think adds a completely different dynamic to the whole thing as well. But yeah, just the sound and growing. Steve's songwriting is getting better and better for sure. You can hear it even with the newer stuff that he's still sending us now.
Yeah.
Because it never stops.
Yeah.
That's a big thing that he said that we didn't say, was even now, like some of these songs that we're putting out, we had them done, we had them complete, but when we went in there with Matt, it turns out they weren't complete. They weren't.
Yeah, it was a whole different feeling. Yeah.
It took on a whole different form once Matt got in there with his own spin, his own take on it, which was pretty amazing. It was pretty amazing.
I would agree as well, because like going from like newest to oldest was a surprise to me, because I was like, wait a second, I'm like, they must have had a different vocalist or something must have happened, or like sonically something must have changed where, like, again, I didn't know the backstory on that you got a new vocalist, so I was just kind of going into the thought of like, did he improve that much more, or like what happened here? So it was good to know that it's two different vocalists now. But I was kind of confused a little bit, but I almost assumed inherently, just because I listened to a lot of different things, I was like, it's probably a new vocalist from like new stuff, and then like couldn't figure out where the time stopped between new and old. But I feel like you guys have improved, like, musically. I thought, like, from listening to the newer stuff, I was like almost craving some of the way that you wrote in some of the newer material in the older stuff, because I was like, wow, this is really interesting, or I like this part in like some of the older songs. But then I kind of cycled back and listened to a lot of the newer stuff because I wanted to keep it more current. And I was like, wow, there is a lot more stuff missing. And obviously I want to give Chris a shout out, because I think that like the rhythm, you can tell like structurally the songs have changed so much since you have got like Chris and Matt into the fold, because you can tell there's like, in actually, at least in the Spotify, you can tell like where the shift happens, where like you're listening to the newer stuff and you're like, okay, they must have like some new member, or like they wrote differently, or they maybe went to a different producer or something like that I think about. And I'm like, you can tell there's a shift, and I love to see that, because it shows that you guys aren't content with just putting a song out and just being like, that's it, that's fine, we're just gonna do that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like consistently the songs had gotten better as I kept listening to some of the newer stuff, and obviously the newest song, Boswell, I was like, okay, I can kind of tell where they're going, and I think it makes me excited to see what you have coming next, because it feels a lot more concise than I felt like maybe earlier stuff did, which isn't any knock on older material, but I think it just seems like you guys definitely have more of a thought process on how like you want to approach the songwriting versus maybe prior where like it was just like, okay, we're gonna write these songs, see how they work, and we're just gonna put it out into the world. I feel like you guys are constantly moving forward, so love to see it.
Awesome. Yeah, we appreciate that because that's exactly what we're trying to do, and that's the goal. Like, so that's awesome. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah, no problem. And I also had I normally never like asking this question, but I felt like for this instance, I was like, why the fuck did they name themselves the Sons of James? So I need to know why you guys named yourselves that because I have no idea. I didn't
right.
see any backstory on it, so.
So actually, it is on an article. I forget who. It might not have been New Noise, but it is on an article. Kyle's name was Kyle James.
Oh, okay.
And he was significantly older than us. You got a 57-year-old man in a van touring around through New York and Connecticut, living in Florida, and we were all younger. So we were the Sons of James.
That makes sense. Okay. Putting the lore together. I didn't even like
Yeah.
I didn't even put that together. I didn't put the 2 and 2 together. So now it makes sense. So that's cool. I like that. I was like, why did they I was like, who's James? Like, are they like is it just some like oracle like guy, like it's crazy. So that's good. I think that worked out.
It all goes back to just trying to pay homage to our buddy Kyle and really like anybody that anybody's lost along the way. You know what I mean? Just trying to keep the legacy and the memory of that person that you care about and that person that means something to you. Just keep them alive. So that's how we pay honor to him. Actually, our first EP also, like Steve mentioned, he was an old man. He was an old, long, gray-haired hippie, natural light drinking dude. Man, he was just an awesome rock and roller, like to the core. And we used to call him the Ghost because he was just the old white, long-haired man. So our first EP is actually named Ghost, and we have a song on there called The Ghost, and that song is about if you could, say one last thing to that person that you couldn't anymore. So it all goes back to him, man.
I'm hoping I'm that guy when I get old. I'm gonna still be interviewing bands at like the ripe age of like 65, 70. I'll be like, I remember when I used to do this when I was 30 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah, and still doing it. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe
you have to.
We'll see. We'll see how poorly this ages in like 5 years. We'll see if I'm still feeling it. But
no reason not to if you enjoy it.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like I'll stop doing it when I stop enjoying it. Which, if I've been doing it for 8 years now, I feel like the enjoyment has not been lost on me. So I appreciate it. But the next question for you guys is for people who may have not heard of the Sons of James. What song would you recommend to a new listener to check out first to kind of give them an idea of your sound and what you guys are going for?
I'd say go check out Boswell. It just came out on Friday the 13th. Boswell is the song to check out. Really, any of the 3 singles that we've dropped over the last few months, Boswell, The Real Me, All They've Told You, those songs are going to tell you a lot about us, especially lyrically. We just keep it positive. We kind of try to keep it relatable. Everybody has struggles in life. Everybody goes through something. Everybody has their ups and their downs. And we've all got to get through that somehow. And right now the world's kind of crazy and there's more like division and more hate and anger than anything. So we try to keep it positive and try to unite people the best that we can and just, try to relate to people and let everybody know that everybody's going through something. And, there's always somebody that you can reach out to, your friends, your family, that are going to help you. And really to just kind of find that strength in yourself too, like believe in yourself and, don't let anybody like set a standard for what you can or what you can't do. I mean, we're in our late 30s, man, and we're still playing punk rock, like doing stuff that like most people should not be doing. So take that chance, make yourself happy, because I might not have done that until I got that call from Steve,
Sure.
So
Steve or Chris?
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, Boswell. He just explained the entire song pretty much. Believe in yourself. You know, don't let go of whatever makes you happy in life. You know, go for it. It doesn't matter. Like we got together to go record an album. You know, and then after we did, it was like, hey, that was fucking fun. Like we haven't seen each other in years. We went let's go do another one. And then after, hey, let's go play a fucking show. You know, and so just believe in yourself, do what makes you happy, regardless of how it turns out. And Boswell, go listen to.
There we go. Chris, what about you?
They threw all the new ones on there, so I'll go back a little bit. And the first ones that I recorded with these guys was The Ride and Relocation, so check those out. And even further back from that, I love playing Self Respect. It's one of my favorite songs off of that. And Ghost is a great song. Definitely, those are my choices.
There we go. Well,
those are two songs that, well, especially Self Respect. We'll probably play Self Respect for a long time, regardless of what new comes. That's a fun song.
No, yeah, absolutely. I would also agree with that as well. But if you guys want to check it out, all of the links will be in the description, of course. Yeah, I think they're all great. I feel like I might have. I think my pick would be All They Told You. I think that was the one that I liked the most out of all of them. But Boswell was very good. I listened to that one twice, so I feel like that one's up there as well. So go check them all out. I'll leave a link down below.
I was very happy to finally get to record All They Told You, because I've been playing that song for like 3 or 4 years now in my garage, and I always loved it. But we never got around to recording it for one reason or another. It just got pushed back. And we finally got to record it, and I love that song too. It's so fun to play.
It's a great one.
I think that was one that we wrote like during COVID, because I was still in North Carolina with Steve. So if any of those lyrics give you a hint.
Yeah. No, and I loved Boswell for the lyricism as well. Like I feel like people tell me all the time, they're like, why you still do YouTube? Why do you continue to do it? And I was just like, it's just something fun I love to do. Like I get to talk to people that I would have never met in my entire life, even if I like tried to, and so it's a cool way to connect with other people and like share positivity of like how music has all affected us in cool ways. So, obviously enough for you guys to put a project together and enough for me to start interviewing random strangers online. So it works out, it comes full circle. But
yeah, absolutely.
I have to ask, obviously, since you guys all have like family and kids and stuff, what does your kids and family think about the type of music that you write? Because I always think about it. I don't have any kids, but my parents and my sister are always like, who are you interviewing this week and stuff. So it's always fun to find out what other people that have like family and kids think about their music. That always intrigues me.
Well, I'll throw this one at you. My son Taylor now is actually playing bass with us, so that's what he thinks of it.
That's sick. Okay.
So yeah, he's naturally a drummer, but we needed someone that we knew to come in with us, and we asked him, and he was into it right away. So we actually recorded a few of the songs on the new album. And then my other kid plays guitar, and my other kid plays drums. So everybody loves the music for sure. It's one thing my dad instilled in me a long time ago was the love of music, and I've definitely passed it on to my children as well.
That's awesome. Sean or Steve?
My kids aren't. I don't think they're into the music.
That's fine.
They will listen to all the songs and give me their honest opinions of them, which is good. But it's not really the style of music they're listening to.
Gotcha.
So, and as far as being in a band at this age with people out of state and, flying down there and recording and rehearsing, they think it's amazing. They actually came to the studio with us for a couple of these songs. My daughter and my son are in some gang vocals for a couple of these songs.
Okay.
So they have fun with it, and they think it's awesome. They're under the whole influence of do what makes you happy, have fun. So
Sure.
they think it's pretty amazing. But as far as listening to the music, don't believe my kids put the songs on when no one else is around.
Fair enough. Yeah. Sean?
So I've got two teenagers, and my son has found music over the last few years. He's actually in the marching band at school.
Ah, nice. Okay.
He's a drummer. He just turned 16, which is, and my daughter just turned 13. But yeah, he's a drummer in school, so he loves it. He's like a super tech savvy kid too. He's always been in like YouTube, so it's actually pretty funny. Like usually as soon as like we have something that like hits YouTube, he's like the first one to comment like, "Nice job, Dad," or like, "Sounds good, bros." Like,
You better answer first.
Something
I'm
crazy.
looking for
So
it.
yeah, they're all about it. We played a show last year, and it was cool. Steve flew down, and he flew down with his family, and I had my kids, and all of our kids actually came to one of our shows, so that was really cool. We had all of our kids and all of our family at one of our shows, so they were all out in the crowd singing along, dancing. That was really cool. That was pretty special.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I always find that pretty interesting because obviously I'm not a musician, but like my extended family will always ask me like, "Oh, I really like this interview you did with yada yada yada." They're like in my age bracket or whatever, or say some weird shit about like their process on watching videos and stuff. So I always find it interesting when I have people on and they're like, "Yeah, I just do this because I love doing it and it's fun." And I'm like, well, "See, that's gonna be me in like 20 years." You know what I mean? I'm gonna still be interviewing people online. It's gonna be crazy. So I love the fact that you guys, obviously I feel like everybody enjoys whatever type of music they enjoy, but I'm glad that they all subscribe to enjoying what you guys like, which is making music. So that's awesome. So
Yeah, agreed. Thanks.
yeah, no problem. The next question I have for you guys is, who are you influenced by? Who kind of inspired you guys to pick up your instruments, and obviously who influences the Sons of James as a whole?
John, you want to take it first?
So, I mean, I wouldn't have a guitar in my hand if it wasn't for Laura Jane Grace.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah.
Back in the day, me and my buddy were big Against Me fans, and we were at all the shows that we could go to. And one day he just decided to buy himself a guitar, buy me a guitar, and buy my buddy a bass. And he already knew someone that played drums, and he said, "You better learn how to play this thing because you're in a band now." So I taught myself how to play some chords, and we wrote some crappy songs, and we had a lot of fun with it. And I just never put my guitar down. So that's where it all started, with picking up a guitar for me, for sure.
Very good.
Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, so for me, I've been playing guitar. I first probably since about like the 8th or 9th grade. I asked my dad for a guitar, and that was 80% because of Blink-182. That was like the band at the time that made me want to not give a fuck and play guitar, and it was probably because of all their dick jokes and all their crude humor, because I was just a stupid teenager.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was Blink-182, and like and so Blink-182 kind of got me into like punk and alternative music, definitely, and then Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, actually. Like being a big video game kid growing up, the soundtrack for that honestly like changed my life. Like, bands like Millencolin, Goldfinger, and even like older bands on there like the Dead Kennedys. It just opened up that genre for me. And like Napster was around back then, so you could just kind of find a lot of bands back then very easily.
Oh, I know.
So that was it. Yeah, definitely like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, like 100% is the reason that I play guitar, for sure. Yeah.
Steve, what do you got?
Mine's a little bit different. My stepfather played in like cover bands, bar bands, VFW bands, my entire life. Well, since I was one, since he came into my life. So there was rehearsal at my house since I was 1 year old, twice a week, until I moved out of the house. So probably about 8 or 9 years old, I started getting behind the drum kit and beating on it. And then my stepdad saw me doing it, so he showed me some things on it. And he played everything from drums, trumpet, guitar, bass, piano, harmonica, everything. And that was kind of where it started. And I would start writing songs, I don't know, probably 12, 13, and I would bring them to him, and we would set up a tape recorder in the room, and I'd get behind it, and we would record the songs. That was cool. That's kind of where I started my drum. But then going back to Blink, when Dude Ranch came out, I heard this fast, like just fast. It was just faster than what I was normally listening to, you know. My stepdad had me listening to like Stray Cat, which I still think are great, but it was just different style. I've never heard this fast music like this. Then a buddy of mine says, "Hey, I'm going to a concert." I couldn't even drive. I've been 15. I said, "Hey, I'm going to a concert. You want to come with me?" I said, "Sure." "Who are we going to see?" And he says, "It's band MXPX."
Oh.
And I said, "Okay." So he takes me to this show, and
the punk rock show.
Just blew my mind, man. I didn't know that this existed. I mean, I heard this album, you know, from Blink that was like fast and upbeat and just. But then when I went to this MXPX show, it just blew my mind. I was like, "Holy shit!" And that moment right there, I had decided I'm going to play the drums for the rest of my life, but I don't want to play cover songs. I want to play, you know, I'll play my own song.
Yeah, originals,
you know?
yeah.
So that was, and then after I went to the MXPX show, it wasn't shortly after, I think it was a few weeks, that same friend of mine took me to a Meloncolin show. So I just kind of got into this style, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is amazing." So I went home. I said, "Dad, I need you to show me how to play like this." And he didn't have a clue.
Sorry, yeah.
It was not like, he was like, "I have no idea."
He's like, "What the fuck's this?" Yeah.
Yeah, what are you? I don't know what they're doing, man. So I kind of had to figure out my own way of doing my version of that. And then as the years went on, me and Sean both started growing out into other bands. You know, Throwdown came out with a hardcore album, and then all these different hardcore bands started popping up. That became the popular thing. So naturally, we're in high school. We start listening to all this, and then we started kind of playing towards that. Like, we found ourselves playing with a little more breakdowns to it and things of that nature. And now I don't know what the fuck we are. I mean, we are just whatever we write at this point, because I still listen to all that shit. I still listen to Blink. I got an MXPX tattoo. I still listen to MXPX. You know, I still listen to a lot of hardcore stuff. Right now, I'm really, really in love with the band Be Well. I don't know if you've ever heard them or not.
Yeah, I have.
But
they're great.
Those guys, but I'll listen to Be Well, and then I'm listening to a London band called Booze and Glory. So I've got this, like, you know, at the same time I'm listening to Miley Cyrus on my way home from work today. So
there you go. Steve's keeping it fresh. He likes the new stuff, the old stuff. It's all good. No, I wanted to comment on what Sean said, because I also grew up on a lot of the, like, Activision, Ubisoft, like those, whoever came up with those playlists were shout outs to them, because they definitely crafted my, like, love of music early on. So I got to give them a lot of shouts.
You know, I always just told myself it was Tony Hawk. It's probably not, but when I was a kid, I was like, this is all the music that Tony Hawk listens to. That's why he's so awesome. Like, I was, like, totally convinced that it was, like, handpicked
Just him.
music
He
by, like, Tony
handpicks.
Hawk.
Yeah, he was like, nah,
Yeah.
I don't like that. Doesn't seem very skate of me, you know, like.
He was there this weekend, at When We Were Young Fest.
He was,
I
yeah,
saw-
with Goldfinger. Yeah, so
Yes, yes. There's actually a really cool video of him singing.
yes, I saw that on
Superman
YouTube.
with Goldfinger.
Yeah, that was
It was
awesome.
really cool. Yeah.
I actually thought he was a better singer than I thought he was going to be. Like I inherently was just like I don't know. I mean, he's talented, don't get me wrong. Tony Hawk, don't come after me, but like I didn't think the last thing that I thought was like, man, that dude can carry a tune. But then by the end of it, I was like, nah, he was pretty good. He should just do a
Yeah,
feature.
yeah. It sounded good. Yeah, it was cool.
So, but yeah, no, I feel like I felt a lot of kinship with Sean's answer, and obviously just all of you, because like for me, it's like I grew up on a lot of like that type of music, like Blink 182, like Sum 41. I'm trying to think of like other older bands for me. But like MXPX, I got into a little bit later on after that, and like kind of jumping around Green Day. Those are all kind of like groups that, at least within the punk scene, that I'm pretty familiar with. But I find that you guys kind of have that punk edge to you, which I love. And it gives me a lot of hope that once I get older, that I won't stop listening to the type of music that I listen to. So that's great. But also at the same point, I think it's like I also feel like you're a little bit more chill now. It's like less like, okay, like we have a punk edge to us, but we're cracking back a beer or something, just chilling somewhat. So like I feel like it's a little bit more lax. It's not like we're getting like 260 BPM like
No,
fast tracks.
Like,
you're getting like
185.
you're getting like you're pushing 185 and you're like that. I'm
Yeah.
feeling the beat right now. So I feel like you guys kind of hit like the smooth, like that smoothness of like punk music, which it feels weird to say, but I feel like you guys have a good metric on that. So I love that. But the next question I have for you guys is, if you guys could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
I always wanted to do, for a long time, I wanted to do Every Day by Buddy Holly. I feel like that would be a
Ooh.
really fun song to make fast. So I've always had that kind of stuck in the back of my head as something I'd like to do one day.
Good choice.
I'm interested in this, Sean.
Who, me?
Yeah,
Oh man, that's a really hard question. Like, I've always wanted to. I don't know. It's like I'm a perfectionist, I guess, when it comes to like covering
That's
a
fair.
song. Like, so that's why I've probably never done it, because I don't think I could ever, like, in my head, I think it would come out a certain way, but then like what I would actually do, I just want to be happy with it. Like, but I would always want to do like something like just like weird, you know what I mean? Like something
Okay.
that you wouldn't think somebody would cover, you know? I don't know, like just like a weird 80s song, you know?
Any
'Cause,
specific
you know,
weird
like,
80s song, Sean?
yeah, like shout out to like me first and the Gimme Gimmes and stuff like that. You know, there's like so many, like there's a lot of songs that have already been covered, you know? So if you're gonna cover a song, you've got to do something that hasn't been covered already. But then you also, like, if you're gonna cover a song, you got to do like something that people are gonna know and, you know, people are gonna relate to too. So it's kind of hard. So I don't know, man. Like Whitney Houston or something like that, or like Hadaway. Let's cover like What Is Love or something just
Whoa.
wild.
I could get behind that one. I like that. Steve, what do you got?
I've always wanted to cover My Way. By well, Frank's doing it.
Yes.
I've always wanted to do that song. I don't think we ever will, but I've always heard it in pieces. I've heard a good solid rhythm, and then cranked up to a little, probably over 185 beat.
Whoa, chill out there. Yeah.
Slow down.
I've had this in my head for a couple years. I have a very structured way of how I hear it differently, but I love that song, and I would love to do that one if I got to pick one.
Poor Matt is not here to be like, I'm not going to do that. You think I'm going to cover a Frank Sinatra song as the vocalist? No way. Well, he's not here, so he can't defend himself. So, guys, if you have any good song suggestions for the Sons of James, you can leave them in the comments. Let us know.
Yeah, let's hear him. Something crazy.
Something crazy. I didn't say it. Sean said it. I'm just backing him up. So if you do something crazy, that just tell Sean. That's all Sean's thing. I'm not taking any credit for that. So if you do something crazy,
That would probably be the way to go. Just, hey, Matt, we're going to do a cover song. You pick the song and just put it all on him.
Matt, comment down below. Let us know what song you would like to cover. And I'm pretty sure the guys are all going to say yes. So whatever it is, I don't know what it's going to be. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to leave it up to the comment god here. So let's see what's going on. But if you have any other good suggestions, drop them down there. But the next question I have for you guys is if there was someone you would love to have as a guest feature on an up-and-coming The Sons of James song, what's some artist that you would absolutely love to work with?
Tony Hawk. Just kidding.
Wow, you're really going for it, Sean. I appreciate it. Yeah. Just call him up. I'll just be like, oh, yeah.
I was just trying to do the callback, you know?
Yeah, I got you. Respect.
Who's got one? Who's got one?
I want to go with something like Sean said about the cover song, like somebody you wouldn't expect to necessarily be doing a whatever style it is that we do. You know, I would want to get somebody fucking out in left field that everybody would be like, what the fuck? But it sounded good. It works really, really, really well. I'm not sure I have a name for that. I'd probably give my left arm if we could get Miley up in here, but that's not happening, I'm sure.
You never know. I'm going to manifest it for you guys.
That would be all. Is there any K-pop stars that we could bring on board? Ryan, the guy who's recording us.
Oh, Blackpink, dude, all day. Yes, that's my choice. Yes. Lisa's. Shout out to Lisa.
Shout outs. Oh my God. That was a curveball I was not expecting. Holy shit. Wow. Oh man.
And I'm dead serious.
I could tell. Sean was like, please, Lisa, let's
Yes.
Oh my God. That's awesome. Chris, do you have one?
Well, I mean, I can't beat Blackpink, so I mean, what am I going to do here? I mean, I'm a huge Rancid fan. I'm a huge Rancid fan. Lars Fredriksson is a big influence on mine as well. So working with him or Tim Armstrong or anybody like that from that family would be a huge get for me.
This is gonna be the most insane collaboration song I think you'll ever hear. So guys, this is what I need you to do. I need you to go. First of all, I need you to go follow the Sons of James on Instagram. I need you to tag them, and then you can also tag Rancid, Miley Cyrus, and Lisa from Blackpink, and then type the word collab ? And you know, I've been on the internet for long enough, so like I feel like I can say this.
Crazy shit happens.
Crazy shit does happen, and you know, sometimes crazy shit does end up on the internet. So just I'm just putting it out there. You know, I just want to let you know that if you could make this insane worlds collide collaboration happen, I mean, I would be stoked. I mean, I love K-pop music, so I'd be on board. To be the most fucked up song I've ever heard in my entire life. It'd be so sick.
We'll make it work. Yeah, we'll make it work. I promise.
I'm just expecting you guys to start doing like a dance or some shit, you know, in the middle of a music video. You know, it'd be kind of tight. So I was not fully. I want to say for sure, I was not expecting Blackpink. That was not on. Like, if I had a bingo card for your band, that would be like off on like the farthest left you can go. It's not even on the bingo card. It would be
that's shout out to Ryan Bosch, our producer, actually. So he actually put us on to Blackpink. Being in the studio, he doesn't have cable in his studio, so he has like Pluto or Peacock or one of those, and there's actually like a K-pop channel that is like just dedicated to like K-pop, and it has like all the K-pop groups on it. So many hours that we were in the studio that like that channel would be on, and Blackpink was on. So that's where the love of Blackpink came from.
Oh my God.
The amount of hours of watching them on the K-pop channel.
I feel like it's almost as if it's like a Clockwork Orange thing where like he just like has your eyes fucking taped open as you're like, I have to like be a K-pop wizard by the time this is over with. I have so many questions.
A lot of the new songs were recorded with that station on in the background.
Yes, a lot of hours. Yes, no joke. Yes.
This is a first. I don't think I've ever heard of that, and I hope I don't hear of it again. That sounds like It sounds like some torture, if you ask me. I mean, I love K-pop. Don't get me wrong. I love the genre, but I feel like if it's actually like forced upon you to watch and listen to, like that's not good. You know, like nobody wants that. But
Oh,
I think if you guys are fans
Well,
of
we were
it, it
forced
came
at
out.
first. We were forced at first, but then we kind of started liking it. So
Yeah, we were
become
requesting it towards the
torturous.
end. Let's not lie. It grows on you.
Just stop when somebody got excited because Lisa or somebody came on the TV.
It's way better than like the Jersey Shore, you know.
Okay, fair enough. As
If
someone
you're gonna
who
watch reality TV, you might as well watch something good.
as someone who formerly lived in New Jersey and was a New Jerseyite for quite a bit of my life, I can assure you that that is the thing that people tell me. They're like, "Oh, you're from New Jersey. Do you know the people from the Jersey Shore?" And I was like, "No. Do you think we yes, we have a group chat. We all chat together actually. Sorry. Let me get you in contact with Snooki. I actually have her on speed dial, so let me do that." No, of course not. Like it's crazy. So shout outs to K-pop and New Jersey Shore for whatever reason, but somehow this shows up in your algorithm, whatever. The next question I have for you guys is if you were to compile a dream tour lineup, including the Sons of James, who would be on this lineup? Would love to know.
Pretty sure we just said it.
Blackpink, Miley Cyrus, Frank Sinatra,
And Rancid.
Tony
Wow.
Hawk with his mini radio. It's like the warp tour.
This is like I accidentally thought that I like ate a mushroom, but it was actually shrooms.
Yeah, it's the warped minded tour. Yeah. The Sons of James headline.
I don't think I could have said it better myself. That's great. Steve, do you want to? I feel like Steve's actually going to craft a real one this time.
Yeah, let's get a real one, Steve.
I was, and it depends on what region, I guess. Like we were in the United States. Honestly, some of our friends that are in bands with us here, I would actually love to go with more than some popular people, more popular people. If we were to go, say, across overseas, you guys know what I'm going to pick. I would love to travel and tour with Booze and Glory, personally. But if we were to go here, I'd have to say I'd like to go with the Lot Lizards. I'd like to go with the Lot Lizards. I think that would be a lot of hella fun.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the dream tour is like to just hit the road with all your friends, right, and have a great time.
Sure,
So yeah. Ultimately that would be cool. Like we're very fortunate to where there's a very good like local punk scene here. So there's a lot of really cool bands that are very supportive of all the other bands, and they've always been super kind and super helpful at every show. Like it's not a competition, it's like a community to grow and get better. So yeah, let's shout those bands out right now. Like that would be the dream tour. The Sons of James with the Lot Lizards, Arcane, Wrath and the Wise Guys. If you guys are from Florida and the Tampa area, I would recommend to check out all those bands. They're super awesome. That would be our dream tour. So hopefully in a couple of years it might happen. Let's do it.
Let's do it up. That'd be sick. Chris, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I mean, I'll second that. All the local bands around here have been super helpful to us, and like you said, it's never a fight. It's never a competition. Everybody's singing each other's songs. It's great. But if I had to throw some names out there, the Interrupters, I'm huge on right now.
Ooh.
Yes.
Pennywise, I'd always love to play with, and the Bronx is my favorite live show right now. Seeing the Bronx is absolutely amazing. So if I could go on a tour with them and get to watch that every day, I'd be pretty stoked about that.
Sounds like great picks, guys. Even the first one where I felt like I took drugs for the first time. So the next one I have for you guys is what is your favorite TV show, favorite movie?
Steve is like the ultimate movie TV guy.
I can tell.
So
He's got the Stranger Things like poster behind him, so I know he's serious, you know.
Oh, I got my entire leg is dedicated to movies and TV shows. Like, yeah, I think. Well, I think right now, Ted Lasso is probably going to be.
Okay.
That's what I'm in love with the most right now. You know, growing up, Seinfeld, Friends, those types of things. Right now, Ted Lasso is probably my favorite show that I've been watching. Movies is hard. Movies that's hard for me. Man, that's real hard for me. I don't know if I'm gonna go.
Fair enough. Maybe we'll have to circle back to Steve for a movie.
Yeah, give me a minute.
Sean or Chris?
TV shows, easy go-tos, Impractical Jokers. Man, I could watch it 700 times and be laughing every time. Easy peasy. I love those guys.
That. Yeah.
The Office, easy, same thing. Watch it 100 times, still laugh at the same. Comes to movies, I'm gonna go old school. Something I can never get tired of is Dazed and Confused.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And of course, Office Space for all that dumb humor. I love all that garbage. So that's me.
Great picks. Love this. Sean?
So for TV shows, I would say Game of Thrones. That is probably the TV show that I have like gone back and rewatched the most. I've probably watched it like 3 or 4 times, like
Wow. Okay.
first season all the way to current, because there's so much lore and there's so much to just keep learning and going back on. Also, I'm surprised Chris did not say this, but we are huge pro wrestling marks. So All Elite Wrestling is our #1 favorite TV show in the world. Heck yeah, AEW. There's a lot of punk rockers in AEW too, so that's super cool to see like music and wrestling come together. I don't watch a lot of TV actually. Like I really just kind of watch wrestling and Impractical Jokers on vacation because that never gets old. Movies is a hard one. I'm born in the 80s and 90s kid, so like all those classic movies are better than any movies that are coming out now. Half Baked was always an awesome movie for me.
Okay.
I'll tell you a little bit about my personality. Pineapple Express, that's another good one. Movies like Airheads too, like those old like classic, music movies. Airheads, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, those movies. I like weird 80s movies like let's go back to Tony Hawk again, Gleaming the Cube, Christian Slater, like old skateboard movie.
Okay.
That's one of my favorites too. Yeah.
Steve, did you figure out your movie?
Oh, he's got one.
He's got one.
I don't have one. I have like a ritual. It's not a ritual. It's tradition, I guess.
Okay.
Every Thanksgiving, I will watch the first Rocky movie. Because as a kid, every Thanksgiving they would play it on TV. I'd go to my grandparents' house and me and my grandfather would watch it together. So even to this day on Thanksgiving, I'm watching Rocky. I always watch Young Guns after I watch Rocky. And then on Christmas, we always watch Die Hard. So
nice. Yeah.
Those are
the best Christmas movie. Man.
Yeah, it is.
I'll argue that one.
Yeah.
But wait, you watch Young Guns, but you don't watch Young Guns Part 2? Come on, dude.
It's not. I mean, I have it. I own it. It's just not as good as the first. And not
we'll save this argument for all.
Okay.
I didn't mean to unturn some stones here. That I feel like if Sean could reach through the computer screen, I feel like he would right now. You know what I mean?
I'm a little upset with that.
Yeah, this got a little heated. I could feel the tension right now. It's palpable. But no, I like that a lot. I'll basically watch the Christmas Vacation whenever Christmas time comes around. That's just like a dumbass.
Oh yeah, all
so stupid.
of those are so good.
They're great. Shout outs to that. But the next question I have for you guys is: if you were trapped on a desert island for the next month, and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what album would it be?
Latest Miley Cyrus.
What was it, Steve?
All right, Sean, go ahead.
No, what'd you say? What'd you say? We didn't hear you.
The latest Miley Cyrus. Hands down.
What you got, Chris?
I'm gonna go with the old classic. Out Come the Wolves. Never gets
Ooh,
old.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Man, you guys, man, this is a tough one too. This is like the movie question. Like I love variety. You know?
Too bad you're not getting it for a whole month, Sean.
Honestly, for me right now would be Zach Bryan. Like I'm in like a huge like sad boy country phase, and I love his songwriting and like his lyricism. Like his stuff I've been listening to over and over right now. So that's probably what I'm taking with me right now.
Interesting. I don't know if I would pick that personally because I am not the biggest country fan. I feel like a lot of people know that about my channel, but I will. If you give me a good country artist, let me know and I'll check them out because I like to do that. But it is not my go-to genre. So if you got some good choices, let me know. I'm sure Sean's gonna send me a bunch now on Instagram.
No, I don't have a bunch. No,
Oh,
I've got
okay.
like 4 or 5. You know, other than like. You know, I was raised on the old school country like George Strait and
Yeah.
Garth Brooks and stuff like that. But I don't listen to a lot of modern country. You know, besides like Sturgill Simpson, Childers, stuff like that. But Zach Bryan's just a boy and his guitar, man. I love it.
I just went and saw Alan Jackson last year. I think it was. It was phenomenal show. Phenomenal. George Strait's on the bucket list, but as much as I would love to, the prices for that, nah, ain't happening.
Too much. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Well, the last question I have for you guys is probably the penultimate question that I normally ask on the channel. If you guys like the Sons of James, you can check the links in the description. They'll be able to tell you where they can find you at, all that stuff after this. But as I told you, I've been doing this for almost 8 years. In February, it'll be 8 years. So I just say 8 years now because it's easier. But I am really passionate about finding other people that are passionate about what they do, which is obviously music. Why do you guys continue to do this? Why is this important to you? Obviously, you got family, you have jobs, you have other lives you live that don't revolve around music. So I'm curious as to why this is something that you guys carve like a lot of time, blood, sweat, and tears out of, and continue to do it because it's cool. And I would just love to know why you love doing it.
This is an easy answer for me. It's just been the one most constant thing in my life that's always been there is music. Like honestly, like music is the universal language. Like you've heard me talk about Blackpink, you've heard me talk about Zach Bryan, you've heard me talk about punk rock, like just Hadaway 80s, like just music in general. Like music is awesome. I'm pretty sure it's what like all 3 of us eat and breathe is music. And again, like playing music, I stopped that for a long point in my life because I had to grow up, but it didn't take me until like already being grown up to realize that like I could grow up but still do the things that I wanted to do, and like that being music. So like music is that's my motivation to just do everything, like be a better person, push to meet your goals, like music. Yeah, absolutely.
Love that.
Kind of an easy answer for me too, because like you said, with all the friends and the family and the work and all that, with all that brings a lot of stress. And as soon as I strap on my guitar, turn that thing on and crank it up, all that shit goes out the window.
Yeah.
It's an easy shut off, and everything's right in the world for that amount of time that I'm doing that. So it's easy to get back to, and I just love it. And having the chance to do it with my friends now, meet new friends along the way, that's what it's all about.
Steve?
I would combine both of their answers. I have to write. You can ask them. I send them songs all the time. 90% of the songs I write, we're not going to play. I mean, it's just it just has to be. It has to be done for me. Breathe. We'll say. Not sound too corny, but it's the universal language. Whatever you're feeling inside, whatever you're seeing, whatever you're observing, It's just a way to express it, to let it out. And then, like Chris said, there's nothing else during that time. When you're behind your kit, when you're with a pen and a pad and headphones on, there's nothing else. And whatever you're worried about, whatever you're stressed about, whatever's going on, there's nothing else there at that time. So both of them are fine for me.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate you guys giving your answers because, like, to me, I always feel like when I ask this question, it gives me that sort of like reaffirmation or like positive energy that like no matter what age I'm going to be, I'm probably still going to do this because I know it's an important aspect of my life and I love to be able to share my love of music with other people. So I feel like very similarly to you guys, you're just like, we love to play music and that's obviously something we love to do and we want to be able to share with other people. And so I think it's, you know, as aptly as what Sean said is the universal language. You know, I think it's something special about music, whether like, you know, it's something that you feel that's like super sad and like, you know, a lot of people will, you know, be emotional about it, or you can have stuff that you can like resonate with somebody's storyline, you know, and even resonating to what your guys' story is, which is starting because, you know, you lost your friend and that was something you wanted to pay homage to. I mean, like, I can certainly, you know, I can certainly resonate with that and like wanting to pay homage to my family members that have passed away and like wanting to show them that like I love doing this. This is something that I'm passionate about and that we've had conversations with. So love that you guys are doing it. Keep crushing it. I feel like I'm gonna, you know, you guys are always welcome back on certainly,
Awesome. Yeah.
but it was
Thank
it
you.
was it was really cool to get your guys' storyline and what you guys are about. And I feel like the most aptly thing to close out this video is tell them where they can find you at. Where do you guys exist at? What's going on? What do you have coming up next? Tell the people what's going on and where they can find out about you.
thesonsofjames.com. That's probably like the easiest way to go about it. If you go to thesonsofjames.com, it's going to have links for everything, your Apple Music, Spotify, whatever your preferred platform is. We've got some merch up there you can check out. Some links to articles and stuff like that we've got that have just come out. All of the 3 new singles. If you like the 3 new singles that just came out in the last couple months, I would say give us a follow and like keep your ears peeled because there's a lot more to come in the next few months. January something, we have a show. It'll be our first show with our new lineup with Matt at the helm. It'll be the first time we've played a show in about 1 year and 4 months. So we're super stoked on that. We've really just kind of been focusing on that over the last couple of months, just rehearsing as much as possible. Boswell just came out, so I can tell you that we will have a lyric video and a music video coming out for that.
Very cool.
So keep your eyes peeled on that. Hopefully we might be premiering that music video somewhere. That's the goal. But yeah, thesonsofjames.com. Check it out. Tell us what you think, man. We want to meet new people. We're super stoked that you had us on here. Super awesome to meet you. We hope you keep in touch.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Gonna give a shout outs to James. I know we've been saying James a lot, so if you get confused, don't worry, I'm confused too.
Yes, 2 James.
There's a lot of James. It's not the James that I'm giving a shout out to a James that people know that have checked out my channel. It has nothing to do with the band name James. Okay, I will give you that clarification. But if you'd like to find out about the Sons of James, you can check the links in the description. Go show them some love, and go check out their newest track, Boswell. It's great. I love it. You know, I feel like it could end up if Tony Hawk was, you know, still making the playlist. You know, I feel like it would end up on a Tony Hawk's playlist. So. Tony Hawk, where you at, Tony? Go check them out. If you enjoyed this interview, share, like, and subscribe. It goes a long way. It would mean a lot if you click the sub. And huge thanks to the Sons of James for coming on tonight and chat with me.
Thank you.
We had a lot of fun. Thank you so much.